Welcome back to MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic. It's Build a Deck Tuesday, and in today's video we are going to complete the channel's third Oathbreaker deck as we install the last of our creature spells in the 58. And of course, we are going to finish building around Liliana of the Dark Realms and her signature spell, Bubbling Muck. Hello, what's up, MTG BC, baby? We are back here to complete our third Oathbreaker deck, and if you missed any of the previous installments of our Oathbreaker deck series, of course you can click the links in the description below to bring you right up to speed. So you met our Oathbreaker, you met her signature spell, now meet the cards that we've already included in this deck before we finish the 58. One copy of Witch's Cottage. One copy of Cabal Coffers, several copies of A Snow-Covered Swamp, 24 of them, I believe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 copies of Snow-Covered Swamp. We have a Wayfarer's Bauble. We have Burnished Heart. We have Solemn Simulacrum. Extra Planar Lens for those extra snowy swamps. Caged Sun, Astral Cornucopia, Cryptghast, Nirkana Revenant, Nightmare Lash, Lash Wraith, Exsanguinate, Torment of Hailfire, Defile, Liliana's Triumph, The Elder Spell, Dead of Winter, Mutilate, Deadly Relic, Tendrils of Corruption, Corrupt, Nightmare Incursion, and Blood on the Snow. So as you can tell from a brief perusal of the deck so far, we are definitely very interested in lots of swamps and big mana. With that being said, we are going to put the last of our spells in this deck. And folks, they are all creature spells. So let's get down to it. These are the last 10 of the 58. The first creature we're going to include is Vampire Hexmage. We're in mono black, so casting her should not be a problem. The 2/1 first strike is nice. However, sacrificing her to remove all counters from target Oathbreaker, I mean target permanent, is the real reason she's included in the deck. Vampire Hexmage, doing work. Next creature up, we have Vampire Nighthawk, one of the best 3-drops in all of black. 1 and 2 black for a 2/3 flying, death-touching lifelinker. This guy has it all. It has Don't Attack Me written all over it, and it also has I'm going to attack you with evasion and gain life while I'm doing it. Vampire Nighthawk is creature number 2. What the? There we go. All right, creature number 3 is going to be 1 copy of Plaguecrafter, 2 in a black. When it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. Boy, has the Plaguecrafter really evolved from the days when it was called Fleshbag Marauder. Again, this is used similar to what Vampire Hexmage can be, and that is planeswalker removal. Plaguecrafter is creature number 3. Number 4, and this creature is going to bend a little bit with our Snow-Covered Swamp ability, and that's going to be the Draugr Necromancer. Mana value 3 in a black. It's a 4/4 snow zombie creature. If a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, exile it with an ice counter on it instead. We may cast spells from among cards in exile that our opponents own with ice counters on them, and we may spend mana from snow sources as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. So this Necromancer here is going to allow us to help ourselves to our opponent's spells as long as we can get them into exile as they die. Draugr Necromancer will do his part. We'll make sure we do ours. Creature number 5 is the Hailstorm Valkyrie, again with a mana value of 3 in black. She's a Snow Angel Wizard, comes into play as a 2/2 flying trampler, and for every 2 snow mana we tap, Hailstorm Valkyrie gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So this shade effect for snow mana, and of course we are a snow mana deck, is going to be very, very helpful as we send a flying trampler into combat. Hailstorm Valkyrie could be considered one of our win condition creatures because with the mana that we're going to be able to generate, she could be quite a big flying trampler. Next up, staying with a mana value of 4, but this time it's 2 and 2 black. If we have Liliana as our Oathbreaker, it seems only fitting that we also include her brother, Josu Vess. This Lich Knight is a 4/5 with Menace, and it also has a kicker ability of 5 and a black. If we kick Josu Vess when it enters the battlefield, we create 8 2/2 black zombie knight creature tokens with Menace. So think about that for a second. For a total of 10 mana, which for the purposes of this deck will not be difficult to get to, for 10 mana we are creating 20 power across 9 creatures. 20 power across 9 creatures for 10 mana. If our opponents don't have a board wipe available, Josu Vess and the Zombie Knight creature tokens with Menace that he creates will be one of our win conditions. Alright, we are 60% done. We've got 4 creatures left. If you remember from a few videos back when we were talking about ways in which to optimize the number of swamps we're going to have on the battlefield, if you remember we were talking about the Lashwire and the what was it called? The two equipment that we included, Nightmare Lash and Lash Writhe, as a way in which to give creatures +X, where X is the number of swamps we control. The following creature is one of the greatest creatures we can equip those equipment to, and that's going to be Phyrexian Obliterator. We stay with a mana value of 4, but this time it's 4 black. It's a 5/5 trampler, and whenever a source deals damage to Phyrexian Obliterator, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents. If an opponent or opponents that we're attacking with the Phyrexian Obliterator do not have removal, it's only a matter of time until they have to start blocking this massive trampler, and in so doing, their board will continue to whittle down until there's nothing left to sacrifice. Phyrexian Obliterator, again, similar to some of the other cards that we've seen for our creatures, can be considered a win condition. Next up, as we move to a mana value of 5, this one's 3 and 2 black. She's pretty sweet and also can be considered a board wipe. Massacre Girl, 4/4 for a legendary human assassin with Menace. When Massacre Girl ETBs, each other creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 until end of turn. I've been in games where she's cleared out battlefields filled with creatures, and she's the only one left standing. She is going to be awesome in this deck, both to get rid of creatures our opponents control, and to act as a potential win condition. Because notice, if she wipes the board, she's a 4/4 with Menace. So if our opponents aren't casting at least, or casting 2 creature spells, or getting 2 creatures into play to block Massacre Girl, she's going in for unblocked combat damage. Alright, creature number 9, staying with the 3 and 2 black. This time we're looking at another legendary creature, but this one flies. We're going to put a copy of Drana Calastria Bloodchief. She's a 4/4 flyer with a great ability for this deck. X and 2 black, and target creature gets -0/-X until end of turn, and Drana Calastria Bloodchief gets +X/+0 until end of turn. With all of the black mana that we're going to have at our disposal, Drana is going to be considered spot removal and win condition. That is number 9, and our last creature, and it is an oldie and a goodie, and one so close to my heart. Mana value of 5 and a black. We have to include a copy of Nightmare. It's of Nightmare Horse that flies, and its power and toughness are each equal to the number of swamps we control. As you saw earlier, with 24 basics, including a Witch's Cottage, which also counts as a swamp, we can have a Nightmare come down into play that will be monstrous, and that's not even considering it having any of the aforementioned equipment. Nightmare, again, is one of our win conditions in this deck. And there you have it, MTG Burgeoning community. We have completed our third Oathbreaker deck, Liliana of the Dark Realms, and her signature spell of Bubbling Muck. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic.